Welcome to StormWatch, the Better Heroes of the Storm podcast for better people. Today's episode is brought to you by Chen's Other Ultimate. Yes, Wandering Keg, pointing out newbies like a giant blinking billboard since 2014. And by the letter D. Just press it, Tassadar. I'm fucking sick of being ganked by Nova, over and over again. Enjoy the show.
The time is 8:03 p.m. The date is December 21st, 2014. This is Stormwatch. Today's forecast is podcast.
Did you say something? I was busy thinking about game.
All right. We have got this thing going. Welcome, everybody, to Stormwatch. This is episode 3, the phoned-in Christmas special. It's December 21st. We're all in the Yuletide spirit. Isn't that right, Zavis?
Definitely. I'm wearing my Christmas colors, as you can see.
Oh, yeah, well, no, but I believe you.
You can't see. Aw.
Biffy,
so
what's
sad
up,
for
man?
you.
We missed you last week. Mr. Mike.
We missed
We
him
miss you right now. I think he's still
Biffy,
muted.
please.
Mate, how's it going, man?
Oh man, pretty great. I gotta say, I'm not feeling the Christmas spirit just yet, but I'm feeling that I'm gonna feel it soon.
Excellent.
If you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't at all.
I am completely lost,
But
but that's okay.
You know what? And that's what we're here to do, is be completely lost. I think that's what's important. Is, because we don't have a whole lot to talk about this week. I mean, we do. There's plenty to talk about. We've got Heroes of the Storm. It's a game that we like. But we don't have anything specific. There hasn't been a patch lately. There's been the same general tournaments going on. Kings of the Storm, ESL stuff that we play Hatsien. You're only found if you're lost. I gotta stop staring at the chat because I completely lose my train of thought immediately. Thanks a lot, Plays for Change. Anyway, we have a whole list of things to talk about. So I shouldn't say that we don't have a lot to talk about, but it's gonna be interesting, to say the least, and to say a normal amount. Biffy, do we have you now? Or are you still non-existent here?
Damn it, Biffy.
Oh, you know what happened? You want to know what happened? I hope everyone, including you three, laugh at me. I forgot to unmute my mic, and
Dude,
it became very obvious.
I literally said, did you forget to
Fucking said it,
unmute?
man.
Didn't I? What did I say? I said, like, make sure you unmute or something like that.
Yeah, you totally did.
Oh,
And you're just like, nope, I unmuted it, and nobody could hear you.
I was looking. Yeah, okay. Well, hey everybody.
How's it going, man?
It's going great. Yeah, that explains that
boy.
awkward pause I heard. I was like, ooh, that was awkward. Only to realize, yeah, I'm the one. So
You just,
I
like,
owe
you-
you a bit of an explanation.
You opened with, like, a terrible pun, and you're just like, that did not go over well.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, my feelings are kind of hurt.
All
Okay.
right. So, we've got a whole list of stuff. Let's just jump into it, I guess, unless, does anybody... I mean, I already said let's jump into it, so we're gonna jump into it. I'm not gonna ask.
Stop the marriage.
What's that?
Stop a
Yeah, I
wedding.
mean, first I'm
Stop a wedding.
if nobody
First
else
some-
has anything to say, that
No.
would what? What do you want?
Huh?
We're so sick of your bad puns.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The bad pun that you made that we pretended that you were muted because of.
I need a crickets. I need like a cricket sound effect that I can just repeatedly tap.
I'll work on it. Anyway, so let's get to the first topic. If nobody opposes.
No, let's do
No,
it.
I'm done with it.
We're talking on our handy dandy Facebook chat about some things that we can mention this week, and it wasn't particularly recently, but we haven't covered this yet, so I thought we could talk about it. Blizzard has talked about how they want to, in order to enforce people staying in the games and not quitting, going AFK, something they're calling lever queues. and I thought we could talk about those. So, does somebody want to explain what they are? Because I'm talking too much.
I've got my hands up.
All right, let's hear it, Mid.
I'll do it.
Give us the rundown.
So the way Blizzard wants to implement it, it's something that's been implemented in, I think, Dota 2, and I think a few other games, but particularly Dota, where if you leave too many games or you're too toxic, I think, the game will match you with other leavers or toxic people in the ways of a Blizzard employee. If that's what you like to do, then we're going to give you exactly that. So I don't know. I think it's partially a good idea.
So the one criticism I've heard in the past for a system like this is, especially with people who like are being toxic, acting up, there's a certain level of like, oh, if it kicks you into a different thing, then people will start to like think that that's cool and like act like dicks on purpose to get into that, you know.
But very limited.
Yeah.
Cares?
I know.
If that's what you want, then that's exactly what they're saying. Like, play the game your way is what they're saying, right? Like Maid was alluding to. So if that's what you like and you think that's cool, please go to that queue, because I don't want to play with you.
Yeah, if you're that type of person.
I haven't heard that criticism so much as just those warning, like, there's a couple problems here. One, their lever system, so the rejoining system they have is incomplete. I think everyone here has probably experienced a DC, and anyone listening has probably experienced a DC that when they try and reconnect, they wait upwards of 15-20 minutes to get back into the game, and then it's over, and they've been marked and flagged as a lever. So I think while it's probably a good idea at some point to implement, I don't think they have like the back-end technology for rejoining games in a place where it makes sense yet to implement lever queues.
The server is this many seconds ahead.
Yeah, like the classic, it's like you see it at, oh, I'm only 1 second away now, and nothing.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, if you wanted to specifically design something to frustrate people when they were trying to get back into games, it would look awfully similar to the way it is now.
I think the one criticism I would add is that how do I say this shit? When you go to ranked mode, it's that this kind of fucks up the ranked mode meta. Like this does work in normal versus unranked, but if you place levers against levers in ranked, it literally just becomes somewhat of a luck game. You know, it's not really compos, etc. It's just who
has more levers.
Are you worried about the meta in the lever queues? Because I don't think that they care.
I don't think they care,
and
but I mean, this is kind of one of those awkward situations where, let's say there was like this is StarCraft 2, for example, and they have that somehow, you know, with Grandmasters for versus 4s or something. With that, I might be able to get Grandmaster just beating really bad people, just because of I'm now in that elite that doesn't roll actual good players.
I think they've actually said that they'll also be disabling you from joining ranked. I might just be making that up, but it seems like, in any case, if you are in the lever queues and you're being placed with other people who are like leaving games a lot, it's not going to be very easy to consistently work your way up the ladder. You know, you can't carry a team when half the time you're going to be much closer to 50-50 when 50% of the time you have 3 people going and 50% of the time they do.
Yeah, I don't know if they did, so like you said, restrict you from rank, but that seems like a logical thing.
I would
like
expect...
if you're going to be thrown into a lever queue, disable rank. Like, if you're in the lever queue, are you really going to be trying to climb rank right now?
Yeah.
Like, just wait until you get out of it, and then learn your lesson, and then go back to rank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
I certainly wouldn't want to play ranked if I got even, you know, if for any reason I ended up in the lever queue. Not that I've ever left a game before I was supposed to, ever, in any video game. That's not
I think like Biffy was saying earlier, like, you know, sometimes you can't help it. I mean, even just today, twice in a row, I was disconnected from the game as soon as it loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, as soon as it loads, that time to catch back up to, you know, the server is X ahead is like a minute. So by the time it takes maybe 20 seconds for me to get back in, it's not that bad. But I mean, yeah, it's obviously a thing that happens.
I've definitely been kicked out of games and not been able to get back in until they were over several times. So obviously the first thing is for Blizzard to actually fix their game, and then we can talk about this more. You know?
Oh, we need to welcome Maid's Kitty to the stream.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody visits Kasparov.
I heard you speaking
like
French
the-
to it.
Yeah,
does your
he only
cat-
speaks French.
Your cat doesn't know English.
I don't
Yeah,
think
nobody
it understands
knows
much French either.
Okay.
So, I mean, as a group, I mean, how do we feel? Just probably a good idea, but
it sounds like a
maybe
great idea, in my opinion.
I think it's a good idea, but it might be tricky to implement without any downsides, you know?
Mhm.
I gotta say, I'm a fan of traditional banning. I feel that gives you the enough lesson, but it's a good thought. I think they're trying to look outside the box.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the argument is over bans, but like, I
Still
guess you
lets
can
them
be
play
a
the
little
game
more
so they keep
liberal
spending
with it.
money.
Yeah, you can. That's true. That's a good point. And you
They're
can be a
still
little
playing,
more
so they're
liberal
still
about it,
spending.
where like you can't necessarily ban somebody for some things that you could stick them in the lever queue for. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
But-
I think they just need to make sure that, you know, it's not like you get flagged in one game for being a
Yeah.
lever or AFK and then you're in the queue. Like, you need a liberal amount of, like, hey, they've left, like, 5 games this week and been flagged by 4 of their teammates or 3 of their teammates each time,
Yeah.
or stuff like that.
So, once we have a fully functioning game, that'll be something to talk about more. Speaking of a fully functioning game, we've been told that January, 17th is when the closed beta is starting?
Yeah, I think so.
And with that, we will be getting ranked mode, in addition to, I think they've said Thrall is coming
And-
out, and maybe Sylvanas is coming up soon, or what was the other
Yeah.
one?
There was Lost Vikings, but
Vikings.
I
Lost
don't
Vikings,
think
right.
they're coming.
Yeah.
I don't think they're coming. It's going to be Sylvanas and Thrall, or just one of the two.
Well, it sounds like they had some problems with balance with Thrall because he was just too broken, but
Yeah,
I'm
it's
all for
crazy.
that because I cannot wait to play Thrall. But in addition to those coming out and the new map or maps they've been talking about, we'll be getting ranked
yes.
mode, which will be interesting. And I thought we'd talk a little bit about ranked mode. See what everybody.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I know. Well, first of all, yeah, fucking can't wait.
And we get to stress out about a new ladder to climb.
Yep. It'll be nice to like have a matchmaking rating that, or not an indication of your skill level that doesn't update every 4 days. At
Yeah,
most.
something that it takes into account all games that are being played on servers. Again, it's I think a lot of players are itching for it. I'm also just itching for the growth in community that's going to happen. There are going to be tons of
Absolutely, we need
invites
more
that go
viewers.
out. Yeah, and then we can get
That's true, yeah,
advertisements,
it's also-
and then we can get
it's-
money.
Sponsorships, new kicks.
Yeah. I need a new computer. Listen, Doghouse Systems. We are currently unsponsored, and we're not opposed to the idea.
Hey, Red Bull, just saying.
Red Bull.
I've been covering up my can of drink here, or my bottle of drink here, strategically every time I lift it, so I don't show any logos.
And that
So I
wraps
could use
up
some
our shameless
sponsorship. Stop
begging.
doing that.
Man, this Avalanche Amber Style Ale sure is delicious. It was first brewed in Breckenridge, Colorado in 1988, and ever since, Avalanche has been delivering the best quality beer this side of the Mississippi. And the other side. That doesn't work, because Colorado's on the other side of the Mississippi from me.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say anything, but I've got this Lint Advent calendar here. Just saying. I mean, please give me more chocolate.
Oh, you gotta get the hookup on that. That's funny. So, they've said that they're not gonna have bans in ranked mode, at least to start off with, which with this very small hero pool that we have, I guess makes sense, but it is a little bit disconcerting, and we've seen that all of the major tournaments, that I've seen at least, like Kings of the Storm and all that, are definitely have one ban per team at least. So, what do you guys think about that?
I like the one ban idea. I guess I haven't been following the details enough to know whether or not they've released a justification beyond just small champion pool for why they don't have bans. I would like to have at least one, or to have the banning mechanic go somewhere else. Like maybe you could ban. Well, like I mean, I guess I don't know the full details, to be honest. I mean, like, are you able to pick maps in ranked mode? Is it still random?
I
Would you
believe
be able to?
it gives you a map first, and then you go 1 2 2 2 2 1. Is that how?
Yeah,
math
probably
works?
something like this. It's first pick, then second pick gets 2, then
Yeah.
2, then
General MOBA draft. But yeah, from what I understand, the map is picked randomly. They haven't mentioned anything about vetoes, which would be interesting.
Right, like I was gonna say, what about if each team got a veto for maps independent of each other's knowledge, and just see how that creates? Because I mean, I don't know about you all, but like I have a real bad win rate on the tribute map. But as far as, let's say, like Dragon Shrine is concerned, I would love to get that map every time in ranked, and I think that could be some nice ways to like force different metas to be relevant, given each map and its like requirements for champions. So I think that could be fun to maybe add a ban or veto mechanic for maps.
You know why they won't have that on day one? I guarantee it they won't, because people will not want to play on the new map in ranked because they won't understand it. So nobody will play the new map.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Um,
fair.
And there's a small enough number of maps as well. Like if you talk about a small champion pool, talk about a small map pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
I
yeah,
actually-
compared to HOTS, it's compared to League of Legends or Dota, it's huge. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
compared
it
to what they
depends. Like,
want to have.
if you look at StarCraft, they throw you into the mouths of hell. I mean, sometimes they release it a bit before on custom maps, but it's really the new ladder comes out, bam, you have new maps, and if you suck at adapting, then you're kind of fucked.
You can veto
But,
at least one map, right?
Yeah, you can
there's like
veto
3,
3 maps,
yeah.
and there's usually 7. But yeah, I think it even chances. I think just because they want to show up our new maps, they might make it part of ranked. But as you said, they might not.
I have a. Wow, I also have a very shitty win percentage on Cursed Hollow. 44%. That is.
Yeah,
rough.
I mean it's a rough
That map is hard.
for solo queue.
It's just like you gotta think too much.
Well, it's a lot of rolling around. You could get paired up against a team that's like rolling a death ball comp, and you'll just get worked real fast.
Yeah, you're split pushing their gang squad, or your gang squad and their death ball, and then it's just.
Yeah, you
Did I get
can
that right,
shot
or is
off
the
guard.
hot paper the rock paper scissors the opposite way made? I can't remember.
The
Rock,
what?
paper, scissors.
The like whole rock
Lots of
paper
paper,
scissors, like if you play a split push team where you've got one split pusher and 4 who group, and the other team has gang squad where they do like 1-1-1 with 2 roamers, or something like that.
Versus the death ball. Which
Yeah.
one? Which?
Those are just the
I-
3
there's-
like
there's been,
very general archetypes that I've understood there are in competitive play. Like
I couldn't really say. I mean, I don't think the game has developed enough where we could say that concretely.
yeah,
you know?
that's a little bit more theory crafting than like practical, I suppose. But
I guess it should work. I
It's
mean,
kind
if
of
you have a
besides the
gang
point.
squad, the push guy can't do anything ever,
Yeah.
technically. So, I mean, it's kind of like in early StarCraft where any units were kind of overpowered if you figured them out, you know?
yeah.
Like, you could win with pure Marines just because,
You because you figured out how to stutter step before everybody else.
yeah,
If
something
you're
like
Marine
that.
King, you can just like.
Yeah.
Wow, you just lagged out there, and that was terrifying on my end.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
No,
It's just
it
like.
was terrifying. Horrifying.
So like we're not gonna get a hero ban when we go into ranked mode. So right now, like you'd be facing every game's gonna have what, like Abathur is getting banned a lot. Arthas
Yeah.
is still very strong.
Arthas, Tychus,
Tychus
all the time.
are like the 3 that I know of being big. Are there any others?
You get banned a lot. Uther was getting banned a lot for a while, but I think
Yeah.
people have figured him out. Just
So-
take Relentless, you know?
I guess they just want people to be able to play who they want to play, but like, it does. we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, like it's just a matter of how much balance they're able to achieve in the.
I think part of it is to avoid people whining. You know, like, oh,
Yeah.
I just got inside the game and I can't play
I just
more than
spent
like two
$10
characters.
on this character, and yeah.
He got banned, yeah. And I think part of it is actually for test samples.
Mm.
Like, what better way to see who's really actually overpowered than through raw statistics, you know?
That's true, because ban rate and win rate are going to be very different.
I mean, it's possible that everybody's banning the wrong characters, you know?
Yep.
Like, for a long time, we thought that Illidan was absolute shit. Everybody thought that Illidan was bad, but it turns out we just didn't know him, you know? Now he's one of the strongest overall.
Well, so Nova also got nerfed, so and there were a couple other big balance changes that brought him to the forefront. But yeah, I'd say that he was definitely undervalued in that meta too. So yeah, I guess that's a good reason to not have bans. I'm apprehensive, but like it's just a matter of how much of a good job they can do balancing the game, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention, like you were saying, you do the rank and then you do your draft, but the maps are random, but you still at least know what it is beforehand.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've played Abathur to have some fun, and then it's like, oh, Haunted Mines. Yay! I mean, I don't know if you guys share my opinion on that, but I hate Abathur on the
It
Haunted
seems
Mines.
like
'cause
it would be
can't-
pretty useless.
It's really bad to have Abathur and you can't go in the mines with your team. Like, it just, sure, you can symbiote, but it doesn't really do the same thing. It doesn't
That's how I
accelerate
feel about
getting the
Asmodan
skulls.
and Haunted Mines.
Haunted Mines
Yeah.
is a weird map where if you're playing unranked, like you have to right now, you kind of there's a few heroes that just don't really do much, and it's a little awkward. But those are all things that, like, you know, ranked is going to be for the people who really care about that kind of thing. If you're playing casually, you're just going to split push on Haunted Mines as Asmodan and
Yeah.
not care. And we
Yeah,
just need to
right.
wait until the mode that's made for us comes out.
Yeah. No,
I do
just-
think. Yeah,
go on.
go ahead, Biffy.
I was gonna say I put Asmodan away for a while. I'm waiting for ranked before I start playing Asmodan again.
Yeah. So, I think that covers that, unless anybody has anything else to say.
Well, just a quick thing. Like, just a quick anecdote for Abathur on Haunted Mines. He's actually surprisingly potent in the hand. I mean, I don't know. Me and my team played against Symbiote on Haunted Mines once, and we got absolutely wrecked by their Abathur, who kept a lane presence instead of going in with the mines. And in the end, they just got a huge level lead and snowballed.
Yeah, I guess as long as they can 4v5 decently and, like, at least keep the skulls even.
So, I mean, I guess part of it was it just a loss because it was Symbiote, or is Abathur stronger than that? So, yeah.
I mean,
That's a good question.
It's not... He's not useless by any means, but it doesn't... Maybe it just depends on how you play him, but
Yeah,
it's not
I
great.
think you need to have a well-coordinated team like Symbiote that knows, like, goes into the mine fully aware, hey, this is a 4v5 at best, right? Like, we have to be careful, we have to be defensive. If we're getting engaged, we have to get out. We can't be like, oh yeah, let's do this. Oh, we all died. What happened? Stupid
Oh
Abathur.
crap! I'm muted.
Abathur, what the fuck? Where are you? Why aren't you being Slapathur right now?
Abathur, where the fuck are you sitting in base? Oh god.
Oh my
AFK.
god, Abathur AFK report, please. That whole thing. There's a couple other... I'm trying to think of some other instances of heroes being particularly bad on certain maps. Like, Sergeant Hammer has some issues. Like, on... There's so many places to get caught out on Dragonshire as Sergeant Hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
So all of those things are just... I cannot wait for ranked. I'm so excited to be able to actually have really fair games, because I think the quality of games will go up a lot when there's a bigger player pool, because we're in closed beta, and because of the fact that you know what map you're on and you're able to counterpick a little bit. The counterpicks are going to be so much fun in this game.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna-
there's going to be another thing just quickly. It's that with ranked, we're going to see people play seriously. you
Yeah.
know? Like sometimes you just want to play, just fuck around, and you land upon someone who wants to play seriously. But this time, it's all going to be serious. So yeah.
Sometimes you just have your entire 5-person team pick
Yes.
auto select.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to take the talent on Stitches to pull my teammates around, and I just don't want to win. I'll take them off the enemy core. I will bring them with me as I'm dying. I mean, sometimes I just want to watch the world burn, unless it's ranked.
You control so.
I'm kidding.
That's totally okay.
There's so much trolling you can do with Zeratul's Void Prison, where you just like, especially like the worst thing to do is just as you're winning the game, you just Void Prison your entire team and the Nexus, or the core. And just everybody sits there for a second while the enemy team goes,
What?
well, we don't respawn for another 20 seconds, so we're still going to lose. This is pretty damn. It's just like, it's my Manor Mule. You can also actually Manor Mule in this game, which is great.
Yeah, I
So-
think that's a good feature.
I feel like that somebody
you gotta
somebody
explain that.
thought of that when they were making this game. They said, you know, there's something missing. How can we get mules into this game?
However, they didn't think, how can we make mules target the right things?
Oh my God!
I think we already talked about it on the show.
It's so tempting.
I think we already talked about it on the show, that guide that says like the very, very specific places that you need to drop the mule to get it to repair what
Yeah.
you want. I don't know that anybody tested it because it's so ridiculous. I wonder if that was just satire. Like that guy was just like, hey, no, it's easy to use the mule. All you have to do is see this 4-pixel square right here. If you put it on that one, which is next to the tower, it'll go over to the fort and start repairing it. No problem.
I don't know if you guys know this meme, but there's this meme where it goes, instructions unclear, dig got stuck in ceiling fan.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I feel
Oh,
it's
yeah.
particularly applicable.
I don't know that it is.
Crickets.
I just like stare at you. I can't, because you can't tell that I'm just staring at you like, shut up, maid. I'm sick of your shit.
Seriously, more
One
crickets.
day we'll learn where your eyes go for each person's frame on your window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I gotta be like,
All right, we'll figure this out.
listen, maid, cut it out.
Oh, I see.
Uh,
You're one of us
see if
people
that
with,
works.
It did. I've got the overlay. I can tell. Okay, so for the third week in a row, just because it's something to talk about, how are we feeling about the December 2nd patch?
It sucks. I hate it. Revert it all.
Uh,
No, I just want to complain more about Nova getting nerfed as hard as she did.
oh, she's so good still, though. That's the funny part.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure, but it's one of those like, wasn't really necessary to nerf those elements of her.
Yeah, there are a couple. Like, take out rewind, sure. I mean, drop the snipe damage, maybe. Like, jeez.
She could use a little tap up, I think. Like the what was it? Armor
Just
piercing
revert the
shells, I guess it
hotshots
is
nerf.
now.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's forever hot shots.
Hot
Forever
shots.
hot shots.
Either
Never
way,
forget it.
that ability. I don't know why that was nerfed. I mean, I don't see the value in reducing my attack speed by 300% to do 300% damage.
I mean,
I just
there
don't
is...
really see it.
There is, you know... there
It's-
are
yeah,
good reasons
it
to
makes
do
you
that.
bursty.
But...
So you can be more
Well, I mean,
bursty more
it
quickly and
feels-
get the squishy. But
regardless of whether it's good or not, it just feels wrong to just get a talent that doesn't, like, raise your DPS in the slightest. It's the only
Yeah.
thing
Well,
that, like... Go ahead.
there's really only a chance it hurts your DPS unless you're really, really, really good at orb walking at
Yeah.
that slow of an attack speed. It raised the skill floor on her auto attacking, which is like, I don't know why you'd take the talent anymore unless you're already a Nova Pro or are really good at orb walking with her, because it's only going to lower your damage.
I have a
Like
fun
just
time...
straight up damage per second calculation. There's just
There's situations I've had it where I'll be playing Nova. She's like the only ranged character that I play, really. I'm trying to think of what other ones, but like she's the one where you just... There's a couple heroes in this game where you're just not playing the same game as everybody else, and if you do Nova, right, it's one of them, because you just wander around the whole game just picking people off wherever you need to. And there are times when people are running towards their base, and, you know, they're running away because your team attacked them and they're low. You get a snipe off, and then you auto them once, and it does the 300% damage right before they get, out of sight, Stuff like that happens to me a lot. There are reasons to have it, but it's a lot more difficult to use, and I feel like you should be rewarded for taking that talent with some amount of DPS. It doesn't even need to be as much as it was, but just, give me 10%.
It's I think it's one of those things where it's kind of tricky because you want a game to be fun it's something I saw recently on Counterplay. You want the game to be fun for the person getting ganked and the person doing the ganking.
True.
I tried playing Nova without the patch and with the patch, and I just don't like her play style. I feel that's something that's kind of frustrating that transferred from League of Legends and Dota. Like, we don't have junglers really per se in Heroes of the Storm.
Gazlo, man.
I mean, for mercenaries.
King.
Well,
No, I know you're saying.
I was kidding. Yeah, I totally understand.
Junglers were kind of like a gank squad that kind of kept their ace hidden in League. Whereas right now you can't really do that with Nova or Zeratul. Like, you are moving around all the time, but you're not. It doesn't feel concrete sometimes. Like, if you don't get your kills, that's it. You didn't get your kills. You're kind of not doing a lane presence correctly, and yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
I just enjoy playing her. It's the same thing. Like, I love playing Murky because you just do a completely different thing than you would in the rest of the game. Like, there are some heroes who are really interesting, but like, there are people who Nova isn't their cup of tea. I think the problem is more the reason they nerfed her. I don't know that she was even winning tournaments necessarily. I think she was getting picked, but like, she wasn't going to win games all the time, but she was just so frustrating to play against, and they want to make a fun game. So, like, they might need to edit her kit a little bit to make her a little bit less like that, but, we'll see how it pans out. I think she's in a fine place right now, to be honest with you. I'm happy with her, but I know not everybody feels that way.
Yeah, and I don't think it was unfair or uncalled for. I think they just went just a tad too far.
Speaking of people who going a tad too far, they went way too far with Tassadar.
Yeah.
In my opinion. He's
just in a really uncomfortable spot right now.
Biffy. We're looking at our Google Doc thing right now. Don't look at that. There's more stuff down there that you're not supposed to look at. Just typed "Goodnight, Sweet Prince" next to Tassadar. Oh my God!
I mean, it's true though. I mean, and you can even take lessons from League of Legends as to why support-based champions who also deal considerable damage while also providing considerable utility just don't work out for balance.
Yeah.
I mean, for people who are familiar with League of Legends, like Lulu, who was released as a support and then started getting played mid and top lane in competitive and just was wrecking people because she had no downside in like any part of her kit. And so it's sad to see damage Tassadar go. But I honestly, playing him from a strict support role at this point, let's say relative to Brightwing or Uther, I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not
really.
I mean, I miss damage Tassadar, but I actually kind of liked it.
So,
I've played, I mean, roughly, not a ton of games of them since the changes, but I definitely just changed my play style.
Can you run down your?
I'm not saying I'm a great Tass.
Oh sure, maybe you are.
I've been trying them all. I've been trying as many different talent builds as I can.
You have to be better than me because I am not winning with Tassadar, and I had literally a 75% win rate in a pretty considerable number of games with him. I've just stopped playing him completely because I was getting my ass kicked all the time. Can you run down
I just
what your talent build is?
More as like squishy support. I mean, again, I don't think I've settled on one.
Yeah, I know.
So far, I think. I mean, for one, I've continued taking the slowing the distortion beam. Is it called?
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up Tassadar's ability.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
Unless my team has enough CC, but that's still a decent enough talent. It provides generally enough slow. Level 1 here. Let me just pull it. I haven't played Tassadar in probably a week, so I feel a little weird or sad. Not sad, but bad. Forcing the conversation towards me, but
I asked you.
I've been trying.
I want to know what you.
Yeah, I mean, I would
just
say
out of curiosity.
Yeah, actually, based on Maid's feedback on Conjurer's Pursuit, our first episode,
Yeah.
I started running it on him and
Yeah.
found it to be a really, really good change.
Very true.
So I've been taking that or Overload in the first tier. Second tier, I have stuck with Healing Ward. It just requires really smart placement. The AoE of Healing Ward is still good enough in like the laning phase of the game where you can still get, I think, plenty of use out of it. You just have to place it more, place it intelligently. Tier 7, I've tried taking Mule as often as I can, but it's so frustrating. So I've been trying out Deep Shift more often. That increases your dimensional shift duration by almost a full second, 0.75 seconds. It feels like it's nice to have. I still take Archon, even though they lowered its duration.
So you're just not bothering with static charge anymore, huh?
Pretty much. I would say that's the easiest way to take a look at the build. I mean, I still, depending on what our team needs at later levels, I still consider taking Second Strike to lay that extra Psionic Storm, but only if we, for whatever reason, are in a position where we just need some push. Otherwise, evasive shielding's been really nice. I mean, this just adds to your utility. You're going to give a teammate or whoever you target with your shield 25% increased movement speed. That's really good.
Okay.
I mean, the funny thing is that I feel like Tassadar plays like my favorite character from League now, and that's why I like him. And that's Lulu.
Dude, I am Dude, that was why I was playing Tassadar in the beginning. And that was the reason that I hated the fact that they were nerfing Tassadar. I said literally this last episode, if I remember correctly, is that Lulu is my favorite hero in League of Legends. I love her because I can first pick her and say, listen, I will go basically anywhere. I can go top lane, bot lane, or mid lane. You guys just do what you want. I'm happy, I loved playing support with her. I loved playing damage. And you could build her in a support way, and she wasn't doing a whole lot of damage. And you could build her in a damage way, and she wasn't providing nearly as much utility, I thought that was great.
Right. She's just a really well-balanced champion. That's how I feel about Tassadar. Again, his damage definitely took a hit. And, I mean, they nerfed his auto attack slow. They nerfed promote, or I guess depending on how you really look at it. But I think there's also a pretty decent build to be having. If you do his E build, his dimensional shift build, I think that's also pretty decent. And again, this is all from the perspective of just my messing around in solo queue though. So I don't want any of this to be taken as I believe this is the way it is for competitive and solo queue and everything. This is just how I've been enjoying the champion since the nerfs.
Yeah, I played a bit of
there's my
Tassadar, and
long
I've actually
ramble.
found the same. I really enjoy Tassadar with a little more emphasis on his shields and his escape now. Like you were seeming to be talking about.
It's just that's the problem I feel with Tassadar. It's right now, if you compare him to Brightwing, Brightwing is not. I wouldn't say he's overpowered. He's a bit on the stronger side. What?
We were just getting a little bit of lag.
Yeah.
It's all good. Keep talking.
God, what's going on?
We understand. We can hear you now.
Okay. Brightwing isn't overpowered. I feel he's in a good spot, maybe a bit too good spot. But if you compare him to Tassadar, Brightwing was already a better choice than Tassadar when Tassadar was considered overpowered. The only thing is, it's the ways they both worked. I feel they didn't do the changes right. They nerfed his entire damage set so hard that you can't really go damage anymore. And they buffed his escape set, what we call the troll build.
Yeah, that's bizarre that they made it so
too much. It didn't need buffing, and now the problem is that you can't go shield build. If you go because of how they placed it, you're sacrificing. I think it's increased duration on increased shield on minions and mercenaries by 100%. This was something that you could use on ogres and stuff like that made them really, really strong. And you could combine it with a damage build to make a hybrid damage kind of supporty build. But right now, since you can't combine it with a damage build, there's just not much point to it anymore. Also, you're trading Conjurer's Pursuit for it, which is now it's kind of like a must-have. if you want to
Yeah.
do your max damage, you know. So
Oh, sorry, I was.
I think they didn't do
Yeah,
it
I mean,
right
that's,
with
I mean, that was
Tassadar.
What were
I
you saying,
definitely
Bippy?
had more wins prior to the nerfs.
Oh
That's
god,
for sure.
absolutely. See, I have a
He was-
70% win
I mean,
rate
'cause-
on Tassadar, but I've only got 10 games played according to Hotslogs because I just refused to play. Oh no, 24. 70% win rate, 24 games, and I won't play him anymore because that's not going up. It's going down.
Yeah.
It's just it's a sad thing that's happened to him. Did anybody want to say anything about Asmodan? Does anybody have thoughts on that? Because it's on our sheet here.
No, I wrote
haven't
that
really played with or
absentmindedly
against
earlier,
him.
and then
You ran out of thing, and then you realized that you didn't have anything to say about Asmodan.
well, for some reason I was thinking that he received more changes, but like I'm going over the patch notes and I'm going, no, actually he didn't. So, I mean, a minor change, but not quite to the level I for some reason I thought. So that was just me going, oh no, JK.
Okay, so let's talk about Asmodan. Asmodan, more like Asmodan. Moving on. So we haven't discussed Thrall yet. We saw him at BlizzCon about a month ago. And I just thought that we could talk about him a little bit. He was way overpowered then, and if you look at the kit that they had at the time, it's hilarious how very obviously broken it is. But
Yeah.
we had a few things that we wanted to say about
Yo,
him.
what was
So, I guess
what
just
was the
preface
kit
all of
as
this.
as shown?
So he
Oh, go ahead, Davis.
I was just gonna say, prefacing all of this obviously is like we're beyond talking about someone at an alpha stage here. This is like BlizzCon sneak peek. People wrote down talents kind of stuff. Like this isn't even necessarily what's going to be released.
yeah.
So everything we say is very speculative.
But just talking about like what we'd like to
Okay.
see, as a huge fan of the Thrall character, I read the Cataclysm novel, the World of Warcraft Cataclysm novel,
I did too.
and I thought it was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
damn good. It's called The Shattering, and like I always obviously just like playing Warcraft back in the day, like liked Thrall, but like he is such a deep and interesting character that I'm a huge fan of him from the lore point of view. So I'm really excited to be able to play him, and like he's got Chain Lightning, which is I think at some point before I saw this, all I said was I don't care what he does. I don't care whether he's melee or range. I don't care what role he is. He just needs to have Chain Lightning, and he does. So I'm happy. I'm buying him day one.
Well-
$10, no, not a problem. But
Chain Lightning is an iconic Blizzard skill. I mean, like it's been in so many of its Warcraft games.
Blizzard.
It's people look for it, just like you said.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I need to play some more Jaina.
Yeah, I'm starting to. I know I'll be terrible with her, so I'll never play her. But I really kind of want to. Just she looks, being able to just like get off those combos just right and just crush people sounds like so much fun. But I just would die all day. I can't stay alive with Kerrigan, and she
it's
even
a
has
rush.
escapes. I'm terrible at
Yeah, but
like.
Kerrigan forces you into melee.
Yeah, that's true.
Is speaking of like if melee is Thrall? So is Thrall a melee
Thrall
assassin?
is
Then?
so the plan is for Thrall to be a melee assassin.
What they're looking?
Thrall, Heroes of the Storm, BlizzCon.
Doomhammer.
Let's see if I can pull up what they were saying about
Yeah,
it.
I mean that's the thing. Like the
Well,
other
I-
iconic thing with
Skype
Thrall
chat.
is the giant ham, not giant.
I mean, I think I remember his full kit. Basically, his passive gives him healing every 4 spell procs. He has some procs every time he casts a spell, and when he gets 4 of those procs, it heals him for I think it was something crazy like 1/4 of his HP or something.
Yeah,
Which is absolutely
at 5
insane.
stacks.
And one of his spell, I think he
so it's
Oh,
Frostwolf
crap,
Resilience. Dealing damage with abilities grants 1 stack. At 5 stacks, you're healed for 211 health for every enemy hit. What? I don't know.
Yeah, that can't be.
There's something. It's
Yeah,
a crazy
those
amount of health.
numbers cannot be.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
So then.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably just take numbers with a grain of salt and just look at the.
the numbers
functions
aren't
more
relevant
so.
at all, for sure. but just like looking at him, like he has a large heal
Yeah.
whenever he deals damage with his ability. So he's going to be kind of like, it seems like he's similar to Kerrigan in that he's a melee character and does auto attack, but like he's focused more on. Oh, we're losing the stream, I think. He's focused more on his abilities to deal damage, and the auto attacks just help with that. Yeah, we're back.
He's a lot more like Jaina, I would say. He's there to do a lot of burst and combos.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does his thing. He hammers at you and pow 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 pow. And that's
Yeah,
it.
Wind Fury.
He's pretty-
But it seems
another iconic shaman spell.
I'm so excited for this. So much WoW nostalgia. Like, it reminds me of when I first played Hearthstone, and I was just like, oh, I remember these things. I remember them.
Yeah.
But like some of his
Yeah,
talents are
Denver's,
just...
uh,
I think
Lost
Blizzard's doing a
Vikings.
really good job. See, I never played
I
a
just
game with
gotta
Lost
say-
Vikings. Where do they even come from?
They're just from a game
it-
called
it-
Lost Vikings. I don't think anybody played it.
Oh,
Made
Exactly.
did.
It's all this Warcraft nostalgia, and then there's Lost Vikings, that game that everybody's gonna pretend they played, but nobody
Yeah.
actually played.
Well, because everybody's heard of it. That and like whatever the racing game that they had was called. I can't remember what it was called, but like there was like two games that Blizzard made, and then they made Warcraft. So it was like those two games are just kind of like in this weird little place where they're from one of the greatest, game developers of all time, in my and a lot of people's opinion, and they're just like these weird little arcade games. It's like
Yeah, it's
like talking about how Nintendo used to make playing cards in the 1800s before they became a video game company. It's like, oh yeah,
exactly.
totally, the playing cards. It's like, oh yeah, were you around for that? Well, no, but I know about it because that's what they did. Did you know?
Yeah,
that?
wasn't it actually in like the 1800s or something?
It's like the kind
or
of
was
thing
it
that
like
Scott-
1900s?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It's the kind of thing that Scott Pilgrim would tell Ramona Flowers at a party. So, there were a couple other things that we wanted to cover with Thrall, but I can't remember them now. What else do you guys have to say about him? Oh man.
I really like his
I
kit.
think, as long as
I hope they keep it that way. Just nerf, like tweak the numbers, but I like what his kit is representing, and like the way it's set up. You just kind of need to work those numbers a bit.
All right, Mike, you're back, right?
yeah. Was that me?
I don't know. We're dropping some frames and having some technical issues, but it'll all come out fine in the recording, I believe. So, nothing to worry about. We'll just ignore it and move on.
Awesome.
Let's skip ahead here. Another thing that we wanted to talk about was there was some mention. There was a Reddit thread, as many of our conversations start. It's with a Reddit thread, and it was about what kind of a WCS sort of deal the Heroes of the Storm scene could have in terms of a LCS or WCS, which was the StarCraft one, and LCS being League of Legends, official tournament series that is run by the company who makes the game, in this case Blizzard, and like what that would look like. Because in StarCraft, it was originally, there were MLGs, there was the ESL was in Europe, there was GOM TV. Eventually, there was the other Korean one, but they stuck with StarCraft 1 for a while.
Yeah,
OGN.
There was ESL
OGN,
and IEM.
right.
Oh,
And then IEM
yep.
as well. Who else was in America? The IPL. And what Blizzard did was they said, we're going to make this easier for the players who want to be able to keep track of all of these tournaments going on. We're going to make them all... We're going to take one from each region, make it an official Blizzard StarCraft tournament, and then we're going to have everybody play in that. The winners of each region will go on to a world championship that we'll host, and then we'll have our world champion of the game, which is a great idea, It's very exciting to have a, single world championship officially, according to
Yeah, definitely.
Blizzard. That's great. And also great is the ability to say, hey, what tournament is there? Well, there's the WCS, and from that information, you can find out so much more that it's much easier for a new player coming in. But we were also talking about how there's some downsides, because once that happened, MLG really got pushed to the wayside because they ended up partnering with IPL, if I remember correctly. Can you back me up on that, maybe?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay, I think so. And so MLG like eventually just like had lower and lower production value on their StarCraft content and just stopped eventually, which was a bummer. And it made it so that small tournaments were all that much more irrelevant as compared to the big WCS. I think LCS players are not even allowed to compete in like competing tournaments in League of Legends.
Yeah, I think that's something. I think that's something that happened. I'm not sure if it's still valid, though.
So there are a lot of upsides and a lot of downsides to it, and I wanted to like discuss what we would like to see for Blizzard's support of esports in Heroes of the Storm.
I mean, if I can, I've got quite a few ideas to talk about.
Zavis,
So-
what do you think?
I was actually specifically going to say, let's have Maid talk about that because I have no freaking ideas.
Yeah.
Actually, to be
All right.
honest, I'm fairly new on following the actual competitive scenes in terms of watching things.
I've always
I mostly
been-
just play my games.
I've always been very casual with esports. I went to an MLG once, and that was a lot of fun. But like mostly, I play games as well. Biffy, have you generally in the past been like an esports guy or more of like a player?
Yeah, I started watching. Actually, I started watching LCS this past spring split, both NA and EU. Because right when it came out, I was sick with this like monster flu. I was like out of work for about 2 weeks, so I had nothing but video games to watch or play. And so I got really into
Sounds
it.
terrible.
So yeah, I guess I have a year, like a season's worth of perspective.
Okay, awesome. So, mate, if you wanted to start with what you were talking about, and then we'll all be able to weigh in.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I'd like to say that a lot of what opened my eyes was listening to Total Biscuit, Richard Lewis, and I think Destiny. I think all of these people made a lot of comments on why the WCS system didn't work and what they would like to see. Basically, what went wrong to start with, there's a lot that went right, but what went wrong with StarCraft was that the way it was made, it was basically the rich get richer. What?
You said made. I had to point that out.
Made? I see. You got me. Damn it. So yeah, but
It's
the
just
problem,
completely
the main
threw you off.
problem. Yeah, it did. The main problem was the rich get richer, where a lot of people would get invited to tournaments which had WCS points. The way WCS worked was that the grand finals you could only get by getting invited and having enough points. So what that ended up happening is that people would get invited because they had WCS points to WCS qualifier events, where if they'd get more points, and people who were like foreign pros or North Americans, etc., they wouldn't get invited to anything. They maybe they would get one position in a qualifier, but they'd lose, and it kind of set up a really capitalist model downslide, which fucked up the entire StarCraft scene and led to Koreans being the only ones being in any tournaments. So I think that's the core downside that happened. And another problem that happened was that StarCraft became dependent on Blizzard's stimulus packages. Basically, Blizzard would hand out money for sponsorships and stuff like that, but Blizzard wouldn't give enough. You'd see very small price pools comparatively for League of Legends, Dota, and StarCraft. Like you could see the Invitational for Dota 2 recently. I think it had something crazy like a $10 million price pool, or even more. I think that's the 10 million. That was almost the entire year for StarCraft 2 esports. So you can see how that can be negative, you know. Blizzard threw money, but they didn't throw enough money to make it work. So can it work? I think yes,
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
throw enough money at it.
Yeah, I just from what I've seen and what I've from read regarding, let's say, Riot's involvement with the LCS on the league side, is just the more they do as an organization to support player development, player stability, I think the better the product is going to be overall in terms of competition. And so I mean, they're doing a lot now with this upcoming season to make it better. Including helping teams pay for coaches, or creating larger roles for coaches in the like pick ban phase, for example. And I think that I hope that Blizzard takes their cues from the LCS system and is able to create a competitive scene that is supportive of its players. One thing that I don't like about esports in general is just that they're stress and anxiety plays such a large role in pro burnout and tilt that without some external organization trying to ensure some level of stability for the players, I think I think you still have somewhat of a predatory capitalist system and influencing the way this scene plays out. So that's what I hope in a broad sense it looks like, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, ultimately this is all just going to be speculation, but like I said, not a lot of news this week, so we're working with what we've got. But go ahead.
I mean, the last thing I want to add, I regardless of what it did wrong, I think there's so much that can be done right, and I hope that Blizzard will take a lot of hints from Red Bull and Taki TV. Red Bull has done such an amazing performance, and Take TV basically was it's just full invitationals, but they make an environment for players that is really comfortable. Like people will play poker, they're gonna drink, etc. This is obviously not something you can do in a Blizzard tournament, but you can add sofas, add other games, invite pro players to play Hearthstone, etc. So yeah.
Definitely. Like, that's the one thing. And you know what? It's funny because it doesn't strike you as a particularly important thing when you hear about it. But when you watch the Take TV stream, everything is so relaxed. Everything is so much fun, It's really being able to create that environment. I don't know if it really goes against what they probably want to do, which is create hype, make it really exciting. But it's really so much fun to watch the pros just being people, that I think that there's something to be learned from that. There's some element of that you could take advantage of to get into like professionally coordinated tournament.
I mean, and people love Taka TV. It had such an enormous viewership compared to even the big WCS GSL tournaments. It had a lot more than them at some points.
Yeah.
So it's not just for the sake of the players. A lot of people prefer to see relaxed, real play, and not some fake pro shit. Like, oh, I'm a professional. I don't swear ever. I only act polite.
Yeah, fuck that.
I don't have a soul.
All right, so that was all good discussion. Do we have anything else to add on esports in general, on the WCS of Heroes of the Storm? Anything like that?
No, just that I think that the StormWatch podcast team is still recruiting another member for our soon-to-be WCS World Champion team.
Oh, dude, we're gonna need a fifth person. You're right. First of all, if we all have our evenings like pretty much freed up from now on. Can we play some games, the four of us? Because I don't think we've ever done that.
No, we haven't.
That's true. I don't think all four of us have.
So we let's hold a contest. One of the three lucky viewers in our stream, because most of the people we actually I should mention, I don't know if you guys noticed, we have like 200 views on our YouTube video of the first episode. So we're not really streaming to a whole lot of people right now, but a lot of people are going to be hearing this. write in, send us a resume. You can go onto my, you'll earn a lot of brownie points with me if you go onto my subreddit, which is, we're slowly gaining subscribers, me and Made, reddit.com/r/competitive.
Wait, you have a
HOTS.
subreddit?
Yeah. No, not for the show.
snap.
Separate one. It's a competitive, so like in Magic the Gathering, there is the Magic TCG subreddit, and then there's also reddit.com/r/spikes. And r/spikes is like, it's all play to win, competitive focused discussion. So we're trying to create that. We want to have looking for group threads, stuff like that. And if you go on there, then I'll love you. And if you want to be in our games, then that'd be awesome as well. We'll need to have a 5th person for our level 40 5-man ranked queues. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, our 5
join
support
our.
panel.
No, 5 auto select, man.
Oh yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
call-
that's all you can play.
So
That's actually so fun.
yeah, it's full auto. We'll have to make the team name full auto and just like go at it.
I
126
love it.
subscribers. I've got it as I made the text submission on there as you click the speak pup button because I like Sonya. But anyway.
I think one thing that's good to end it maybe
Okay.
would be if everyone has maybe one unorthodox idea they would wish got added to Heroes of the Storm,
Ooh.
anything at all.
Oh my god. Can I, before
Like-
I say mine, because I'm going to need a minute to start, and I'll give you time to start, to, like, mention yours, or not to mention, but to come up with yours, because I'm sure, Made, you've got one, so you can go next, but
Yeah, I've got mine.
one thing that I heard on Into the Nexus, competing in inferior podcast Into the Nexus, those guys are great. I've met Garrett and Kyle, they're wonderful people. Kyle once said that there should be an adjutant, what's his name, Abathur skin.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is the greatest
I
idea
totally
I've ever
agree.
heard.
That'd be awesome. Change all
Um,
the voices to the adjutant.
Yeah, I
mechanic voice.
cannot even imagine playing Heroes of the Storm and just having the Terran announcer for hearing the Terran announcer instead of you complete symbiotic link approved, blah blah blah. But I'll have to come up with my own because that's Kyle's and it's a great idea. Made, what were you gonna say?
I think this is something me and I think a lot of the more casual players would love is all random, all mid. This is
Yes.
something that I saw on League of Legends.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it is so amazing. Like you can already do it on
It's
custom
fun.
games, but it's not particularly tailored. Like you have to add some rules yourself and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Self-enforced.
But yeah.
My impossibility, community created maps.
Yeah, that's something that they mentioned that? I don't think that they've confirmed
Yeah,
it, but
I think that was sort of in the air that they were working on making that a thing, like
Because
for custom maps.
I can't imagine that it couldn't possibly be off the table because Heroes of the Storm is a custom map,
Right. Well, I mean,
Um,
that's the thing. Custom maps gave rise to this entire game mode.
Exactly. So, oh yeah, that's true. Not only this game because it was originally a StarCraft map that they turned into a full game, but the MOBA genre in general is all just from Dota, which was a mod. So, you would
Well-
have to hope that they would make custom games in this.
To be honest, I think it's supposed to be on the StarCraft 2 engine, Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
That's why we have such a broken replay system because it's the same. So
Dude, good
so
point.
I think it's possible. Honestly,
You know what? The replay system is better than League of Legends, though. You gotta give them that.
Is something better than nothing?
It's so like not necessarily, but I think in this case it's very very slightly better than League of Legends replay system. It's like
Oh, at least
51
it's only an alpha.
it's a 51-49 golem kind of situation where technically
Like,
there's
fuck
an
it, I'm going
advantage.
back to lane.
Zavis,
Yes.
do you have a request of something crazy that you'd want in the game? Have you come up with one?
Yeah, my awesome little casual mode dream that I've always wanted to convince people to do in pretty much any MOBA, and no one ever listens to me. It's just I want theme games. I want things that are just they feel like they fit a specific theme. Like for League of Legends, I've always wanted to have like Demacia versus Noxus kind of things, where you can
Oh,
only
sure.
pick Demacian heroes like Garen or Lux, and the other side can only pick Noxus heroes. You know, something like that in this would be like, you know, an all Warcraft mode or heroes versus villains mode, or like just things like that for fun,
Yeah.
for flavor. Like obviously it's just a casual side game sort of idea, but to have a system in place that enforces that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think that could be cool. Kind of a make your own mode kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea. So
I am usually very good with this kind of thing, but I'm completely blanking. But you guys had some great ideas.
Actually, I have one more.
Oh, wait, can I have
no.
it? Hang on.
Yes.
Tell
No.
Type it. I'll type it to you.
Type it
One
in
per
for me.
person.
Wait.
This
Actually-
is cheating.
Okay, so Kevin,
Okay.
you should say
Uh-huh.
that they should make hero defense maps versus waves of minions
Uh-huh.
that is cooperative, much like Warcraft 3.
I don't
Oh, that
love
was on the mic, wasn't it?
I don't love that.
She.
Oh, you know what? I do have one. Hang on. So, an idea that I had a while ago, I forgot about this, but it kind of fits into this. It's not perfect, but like, imagine if they did. So, like, you know how like there's tower defense games where you had like it's like cooperative and there's like waves of minions. What if
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
a hero defense mode that they made within Heroes of the Storm?
That's actually amazing. I think
So
that's
it would be hero defense maps versus wave of minions that is cooperative, and it'd be much like Warcraft 3.
Yeah, it's I think that's a brilliant idea.
I am impressed with
Kudos
myself.
to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that about wraps things up, guys. Thanks everybody for listening. Shorter episode. So next week will be the weekend after Christmas. We might be able to record. We might not. You know, we're not gonna rule it out. But we are getting closer and closer to. We've got. Let's see. Maybe 3 more weeks, 4 more weeks. Less than a month before closed beta starts. So hopefully we'll be getting some news regarding that. Have a wonderful holiday season, everybody. If you're listening to this after the holiday season, then I hope you had a terrible holiday season, because you know what? Listen a little earlier, huh? Any final thoughts? Plugs? Anything
Yeah.
like that? Let's go around.
If you're with your families and you are forced into a position where you feel like you have to not be sober when you're around them, be safe. Don't drive and consume things.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
I would say that should you find yourself in a family situation and you're not sure what to do, first be safe, but second of all, yeah, I would suggest getting drunk. It really helps.
Yeah, the ordering doesn't matter as long as it
Ooh,
isn't a
does it?
combination of like operating heavy machinery.
Cars
and-
count as heavy machinery. Dirt
Stay
bikes
on
count as heavy
perhaps.
machinery. All right. Listen, Joe Dirt. I was trying to. I was like, oh, let's think of a like kind of like, you know, hillbilly sort of name. I couldn't. I said Joe Dirt. That's a movie.
It's too late now. You can't go back, Kevin.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Watch Biffy's stream. Watch all of our streams. Follow Mate on Twitter. Oh, I've still got it as your Twitch channel on the overlay.
I'm fine with that.
That'll
People
be
can
fine.
follow me on both.
I love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Wait, no, we won't.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You might see some of us next week. We'll see you soon.
Asterisk.
Hey,
You'll probably see us all.
we'll see you soon, TM. Damn it, I hit the mic. Wait, I gotta redo that because that was such a great sign off. And then I just fucked it up. I'm so mad. Oh my god. Alright, everybody mute your microphones. We're ending this show.
Holla.
Alright, we'll see you guys soon. TM. Oh, we have fun here. We are friends, bonding, just having a good time. See you guys.